Hi, welcome to Frugal Full. Thanks for joining me today and happy 1st of April. It really is spring now. Spring has well and truly sprung. I hope you had a great Easter weekend as well and hope things are going well. So today's video is all about how it went with the budgeting in March. So I'm going to have a chat to you through how I structure my budget and how I got on in the different categories. So I'll turn the camera around in a wee minute to show you that. Bear with me, I'm still not quite in the land of the living today, super tired. So gonna have this chat and then get out for my walk, and then later on start planning my menu for the next fortnight at least, maybe attempt for the whole of April, we'll see. Just doing like a stock check and whatnot. See previous video for a breakdown of the steps I use when meal planning and menu planning and shopping list planning and all of that. So another video upcoming very soon this week will run through that process. I described the steps in a previous video, but in the upcoming video I'll actually bring you with me as I go through the motions of doing that, and also show you the online shop and how that will kind of translate into the meal plans and what other things I'll need in future weeks, and what's been bought on the online shop that doesn't fall into like a kind of food category and stuff. So that will all come at another point. But yeah, I hope today's is helpful for just like getting an insight into one potential way that you could do budgeting. So this is the technique that works for me. It might not work for everyone, and it's like quite old school with the paper and everything. But, you know, each to their own, and it's great to just be able to share ideas, and if it's helpful to anybody, then great. So, right, let's get started. Here we are. So, just had an email from Asda saying that there's 4 substitutes, which is fair enough, but actually none of the substitutes are suitable. And annoyingly, one of the most important items was the like Asda, I don't think it's Smart Price, but it's like the budget unsweetened soya milk, which is the same price as Lidl's at only 50p. In fact, Lidl's might have gone up to 55, but did I imagine that? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, yeah, so they've offered me substitutes, but the substitutes are skimmed milk. They're not soya milk. So don't know what that's all about. But no, that's not suitable. And unfortunately, I've literally just run out of milk. So it looks as if part of the plan for today now is going to involve a visit to Lidl with my shopping trolley. It will be the first time that the shopping trolley has been out since the accident, because it contributed to the injury, because not only did my entire body land and push my arm down and push my wrist back, but it was the force of that on the ice, but also the trolley with 2 huge bags of cat litter, and it also landed on the wrist. So it all came crashing down. So, I've not been looking forward to going back out with the trolley, but it needs to happen at some point. So there you go. Today's the day. Wish me luck. And so yeah, stocking up on the milk. It's going to have to just be done in person, which is a bit annoying. It should hopefully still be the same price as it would have been with Asda, or slightly more. Also, I guess then I'll maybe take the seedlings to plant at the allotment today. In fact, hang on, let's show you. Excuse the mess. So it's kind of hard to see them because everything's Bella-proofed at the moment, but they're getting quite big, some of these guys. Some things haven't germinated at all, which is a shame. So I'm going to plant a whole nother round of seeds ASAP as well. But see, even colanders are having to be used to try and keep the kitty away. But there are enough seedlings to go and transfer a good few to their new home at the allotment. Polytunnel or in shed, we'll see. So yeah, it looks as if a plan is forming for today. But anyway, I'll bring you back round and let's chat about this. So just to kind of recap from chatting about my budget structure in the past, the way I'm trying to do it this year for this no and low spend is having a spending limit of £27.50 a week, which is £110 a month for a 4-week month. But if you're thinking, if currency wise it's US dollars, I think it's about 27.50 is about 30 something dollars, nearly $40, but I'm not quite sure, don't quote me on that. But so that's the target I set for myself each week. So in week 1 and week 2, what I did is ordered a big online shop, like I have done again this time. That included some household and cleaning items, as you can see, toilet rolls and toilet gel. And then I'd also ordered Bella's food. That's not included in my food budget. So the Asda online shop in week 1 and for week 1 and 2, it came to £81.55, but I deducted things that were bought that belong to other spending categories like Bella's food, Christmas and birthdays. That's a sinking fund. So's the essentials and stock up. That is a separate sinking fund. See no spend year, the first video way back in January. I go into details about these sinking funds. And then as you can see, there was the household category as well. So, hang on a minute though. Why did I deduct that? Because I usually just include the whole thing. Oh, sorry, I think I've made a bit of a boo-boo here. Why did I take that off? So actually, okay, right, so that's good to know. Okay, so I don't know why I deducted that, because I actually want to include that in the grand total for the £27.50 a week. The £27.50 a week covers food, toiletries, household and cleaning, and the items for the food bank. 1 item per week for the food bank. So that at the end of the year, there are 52 items to give to the food bank. Want to be able to give to others in some way at this difficult time with the cost of living, even in a small way. So yeah, sorry. So we'll have to factor in this £4.55 in the totals now, which is it's a bit annoying. Just realise that. So the total for the week would have actually been £57.33 plus the £4.55, so £62.88, I think, off the top of my head. Or £61.88, I think. But yeah. So I also had bought beers. So there was the total for the food spend. Oh yeah, and also I'd gone to IKEA with my friend. We have like a trip there from time to time. It's random, but it's good. So I'd been £233 over budget for the 2 weeks, which carried forward. And week 2, I also ended up spending money on the food bank items and a Lidl shop. So by the end of week 2, there was this £2.33 and £16.94. So this was, and also this £4.55 now, I guess. So I had gone over budget by that amount. And so that got carried forward. So for weeks 3 and 4, there was less money left. So I had a budget of £8.23 for week 3. I only spent £5.95 in week 3, just a few items in Asda. and then £1 on a hair conditioning treatment and £3 for Bella. I put that under household. I also bought her a £2 toy that went into the gifts category, but this went into the household because she uses this toy every day. She just loves it, and it's just part of her exercise each day and part of her routine. So I don't really think of it like a gift. So anyway, long story short, that meant that I came out at 228 under budget by the end of week 3. So I added that £2.28 on to week 4's £27.50, which meant that I had £29.78 left for week 4. So I was not really needing many items after doing the bulk shop from Asda, and I had a set menu plan, so there wasn't really any need for me to spend that much money going into week 4. And actually the £29.78, as I say, it would be less. It would be £25.23 because we need to knock off that £4.55. So, but it was Easter weekend, and I was also celebrating getting a quarter of the way through the no and low spend year, and decided that I was going to have a special treat over Easter weekend. Actually, it was 3 special treats, but I'll expand on that in a second. So yeah, there was some Easter snacks and some Easter chocolate. Also pizza takeaway. That's a very, very rare treat, and a treat that I wasn't going to have on a no and low spend year. But as I say, this was part of a wee celebration for it being a quarter of the way. And just to kind of give myself a wee boost, just thought it just felt right to have a takeaway treat. Happens once in a blue moon these days, and we all need a treat sometimes. Lidl and Asda beer crisps. So there were multiple treats of the week, as you can see. So it came to $43.64. It would have only come to $20.65 without the pizza. So I would have been within budget. Even with that $4.55, I would have been in budget. But actually, because of the pizza, I ended up for the month being over budget. I blew my budget by $13.86. But that's actually not. That's actually $18.41, I suppose. 2 seconds, I'm going to write that down. Hi again. So, yeah, actually oh my God, I still can't talk. How much coffee do I need today? So, including the $4.55, my food budgeting for the month, I ended up £18.41 over budget. As I say, that was all down to the pizza. I know that I could have potentially saved more on food in March, but it's okay. These things happen, and the good thing is now I recognise when I really feel the need to treat myself and indulge a bit. It's not just happening all the time mindlessly, it's being done consciously, and that makes a big difference. So if I knew that I hadn't had money in the budget, I didn't have that 18, but I can't go swimming at the moment, and I know there's that sinking fund, and I'd listed things for sale, and I knew I could replenish that. I knew it wasn't going to be a problem. So I've been a little bit less focused, but it's not hurt my budget, is the long story short. But, so far I feel like doing a no spend or a low spend for an entire year is difficult. And I think I'm going to have months where I'm probably more focused and achieve more, and months where it feels like it kind of drags and it's harder to keep the momentum. But the most important thing is that if I can stay on track with a tight budget, then I'm doing well. And because of eBay and Vinted and the fact that there is a little bit of wiggle room at the moment because I can't swim and use that sinking fund, it's created a bit of wiggle room, and I'm confident that I can replenish that sinking fund. So it hasn't hurt my budget or anything. And having the odd treat when it is going to be okay within the budget rules means I can come back more energized for future months. So I'm going to really go for it this month for April, really ramp it up and try and not only stay within budgets, but be under budget. And then that means I can put a little bit of money towards my holiday trip coming up in June. So I've got a little bit of spending money. So now, next part is looking at the sinking funds. So 2 wee seconds actually. Okay, right. Sorry about all this stopping and starting. So this is a summary of all the different sinking funds I have. So there are certain sinking funds that are topped up each month, and it's like a spending limit for the month. So that includes a newly introduced one of fun money. So I stayed within budget for that. And there is a social sinking fund, £10 a month. Day trips is £15 a month. Research and studies would normally be £10, but at the moment it's £5. So I had a whole 5p to carry forward, bought a few bits and pieces for doing studies, ended up carrying forward so I carried forward 5, and then oh gosh. The sinking fund, so it's 10 that went in, but I only said to myself I could spend 5 because I overspent in this category in January, so I was compensating. So anyway, long story short, I was well within budget because there was £5.10 to carry forward after buying the stationery items. The allotment, it's £10 a month, so I've paid an allotment bill this month, so that's used that up, and that'll also be using up April and May's as well. I don't begrudge that at all. I think it's amazing value for money, worth every penny. So Christmas, now these ones are the ones that I have for the year to use just as required. And they're not ones that I would need to necessarily dip into each month. So they include Christmas and birthdays, gifts in general. So that included, there was Easter, there was a relative's birthday, there was Mother's Day, there was a wee gift for Bella. Did I say Easter? There's Easter. Also, somebody I went to visit, a very lovely lady who's just moved into somewhere new, took her housewarming gift and also a birthday gift, and also treating a friend to coffee. That could have gone in the social, but yeah, I suppose there's some leeway with that. So anyway, £1.30 carrying forward for that. Small holiday fund, so that's the wee trip away in June. So I didn't spend anything because I haven't been yet. So that just carried forward towards the funds for that. But as I say, anything I can recoup from being under budget each month, it's going to give me a bit more spending money potentially for the trip. It doesn't have to be used for that, but it's nice to have that option while I'm away if I want to treat myself. So vets, no vets visit yet. That's probably going to be in May. So that's just carried forward. That's straightforward enough. Essentials and stock up fund, I give myself £15 a month, and I did stock up on some items, some food cupboard items. And I also got a colander and a garlic press from IKEA, because the metal piece for inside my garlic press seems to have gone missing, which is really bizarre. So I can't live without a garlic press because I'm a garlic fiend, so I had to pick that up. So £1.72 will go over into April for that. So do you know what would be helpful? So just to run through how much, and again, it's only the way I do it. So food, I allow myself £27.50 a week, and that includes household things like toiletries and cleaning products, the food bank items, and the food. So £27.50 a week, or £110 for a 4-week month. Sinking funds, it's £10 a month. Day trips, £15 a month. Research studies, it's £10 a month, but actually at the moment I'm putting in 10 but limiting the spend to 5. Allotment, £10 a month. Christmas, birthdays, it's usually about £12.50 a month, but I say I sell things on Vinted or eBay or something, and I don't have that sales money earmarked to save for something else. I try and top up the Christmas, birthdays, because that's never enough. I always end up needing more. In an ideal world, it would be a bigger sinking fund than £12.50, but at least that gives me a bit of a pot of money there, and then just top it up with some sales, hopefully. Sorry, awful sniffly today. The small holiday fund is 37. Is it 30? No, it was £37.50 a month. Now it's £35 a month. The vets is, I think it's £12.50. I think I've just reduced it to 10. And the essential stock up is, I think I've increased that now from April to £20. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've put it up to 20. And then the fun money is 15. So there you go. So that's a summary of that. So now with the social and the day trips, quite often I end up combining the money for something. So for Easter weekend there was Largs on Friday. There was a cinema day out and seeing a friend, having food together and a couple of pints on Saturday. And it's just ridiculous how expensive it is for going out for food. I didn't have very much, but it still cost a lot, and the beers too. So in the cinema, my friend treated me to the cinema ticket, which was really kind. So I treated him to a pint. And then also I'd bought, did I buy 2 rounds? I'm trying to remember. No, I bought the first round and then we each got our own drink after that. And then of course there's the train costs and everything like that. So it really, really mounts up. So it came to £70 for those 2 days out, whereas my budget for the month was £25. And up until that, I hadn't dipped into those sinking funds, because March hasn't really been that kind of month of having many catch-ups, and any catch-ups I have had have been not ones where it's any money being spent, like going for a walk, or like, oh yeah, £2 for coffees when my friend took me to the hospital, and then we had a coffee and a blether after. So not the nicest coffee in the world, it's like this machine coffee, but just, it doesn't have to cost much to see people and socialise. There are free or cheap things that can be done. Going to visit people, went to visit my friend and her husband as well, which costs nothing. It's just nice to be able to like pop round and visit when someone's local like that. And then friends who aren't as local, there are places to go in the city for long walks and stuff, and there's the parks and stuff. So there are ways. If you would like a video about frugality and socializing and ways to see friends on a budget, then please let me know. I'd love to try and do a video about that. It's an area I struggle with. It's one of the hardest things to stay on track with my budget with. But I do have ideas about it, and I'd really welcome hearing any ideas that anyone else has. So if you guys have any thoughts on that, any suggestions and tips, please share them in the comments, or let me know if you would like a video about that, and then you can contribute and add to the comments in that video. That would be really excellent. So 70, so we're talking 45. I was £45 over budget for these two categories, plus the, what was it, 1841 over budget for the food. So in total for March I was over budget by 63.41, which isn't great, but as I say, it was okay because there's a sinking fund for swimming and there's money in there for a swimming pass. So I knew that I could use that because at the moment swimming is not possible with my injury. Recovery is taking longer than expected and I'm not at that stage. So the money was there and I knew that I was going to recoup it because I'd listed some things for sale. And sure enough, yesterday made a sale for £58, and then today I've made a sale for £8.23 after deductions because eBay charged different fees. So actually, once I receive the funds for those, I'll be within budget despite splurging this weekend for the Easter weekend. I'll be within budget by £2.82. So a long story short, even with the indulgences, I'm still on track, still within budget. Each month of the no spend, low spend is going according to plan. There could have been more potential this month to save money because I would have been under budget had it not been for the treats. But it's important for morale to have treats sometimes, only human, and if it's done in a way where it's planned for and it's not going to wreck a budget, then, you know, that's part of what money is there for. It's not just for slaving away towards goals. I know that sometimes people are in a situation where there's absolutely no leeway for any spending money. And I know things can be incredibly hard sometimes for people right now financially. And my heart goes out to anyone that's literally living paycheck to paycheck and finding it really difficult. And I hope that your situation can get easier as soon as possible. So I'm really grateful that there is even a little bit of wiggle room possible for some treats here and there. So I'm counting my blessings for that. But my goal in April is to get back on track with being really focused on staying within budget, but hopefully also getting under budget. But these are quite tight amounts for the categories. So it's not always possible to get under budget. Even to stay within these budget amounts can be a challenge. But we'll see how April goes, because it would be great to get under budget a bit so that there's a little bit of spending money available for the trip away. That would be super. So thank you very much for watching. It ended up being a long video, so thanks for sticking out the chatter for, almost half an hour. I wish you a super week, and I'll be back soon with some wee updates on planning for the food menu, budget, etc. for April, spring planting and whatnot. And in the meantime, take care and have a great week. Bye.